Dr. C.V. Anandabose, veteran IAS officer, author, thinker, columnist, and a writer, is a well known policy strategist in the national capital of India. Dr. Bose lashes out against Arundhati Roy for her false narratives on India, calling the author of God of Small Things as a God of Small Mind. Dr. Bose attacks the anti India propaganda unleashed by Mrs. Roy in the international media.
In the Broadway Buster stands out the play Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? The question raised in the Broadways of India's thinking population in the COVID days is who is afraid of Arundhati Roy? The nation is braving the COVID surge, doing all that is possible to contain and ward off the unseen virus. Here is now the wanton attack by the seen literary virus who worms into the body politic of India, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Arundhati has come up with this stunning revelation that India's 140 crores of people are under the attack of COVID. We had a lockdown and everything is not perfect in this country. She lashes out against her favorite enemy, her own country, India. She is full of fire and brimstone against her own motherland. She is critical, supercritical, and hypocritical. She has allegations and allegations in her repertoire, but she has no suggestions or answers. Her own house is on fire. She has no bucket of water to quell it. Instead, she brings in ample petrol and incendiaries from the intellectual metropolises of the West to create an inferno out of the kitchen fire in her mother's house. Certainly, a Trojan horse. Certainly, a god of small mind. In the city of Marseille, France, the cannons in the old fort are turned towards the city, not the sea outside. Why? The city fathers always feared surprise attacks from the die-hard rebels inside more than instant invasion from the enemies outside. The favorite pastime of the ilk of Arundhati Roy has been to denigrate and distort a great nation, a great tradition, a great heritage, a great culture, that is India. Tilting, whining of the canines against the moon is not an unseen or unusual sight in the rural areas. How far the moon has been affected by this is a matter of research for the inquisitive ones. Arundhati twitches and turns against her motherland in the poisoned soil of the West, not knowing that India's caravan still will march on. Poet Browning asks, how say I? Nay, which dog bites? Sorry for doggedly pursuing the dog imagery, but in this vast world, every dog has his day. Mrs. Roy, 140 crores of dogs are more than a match for a self-styled lioness. You, Mrs. Roy, are running down 1.4 billion fellow beings of your own motherland. Your recent criticism against India has turned out to be a petty-minded and ugly personal attack on India's revered Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi. Yes, you can criticize him because India has given you the permission to criticize him. We, the people of India, have created the constitution which guarantees you the freedom of speech. You are just one among we the people. Your Western cohorts do not and cannot make you first among the people of India. Don't dress in borrowed garments, Mrs. Roy. You owe it to this nation, everything that you are, the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, and above all, the freedom that you enjoy is not your maternal or paternal inheritance. You have it because India has given it to you. India created you. You did not create India. You are preposterous, madam, preposterous. In Homer's Iliad, there is this character, Cassandra. She makes many predictions, but no one believes her. This is because she had a curse. Mrs. Arundhati Roy, you are a perverted Cassandra from India. No one believes your prediction, not because you have a curse. You are the curse. You have predicted doom for India, on and off. India is not doomed, or nobody believes you. You run down casteism in India, but you do not have the guts to equate it with racism in the US. You are a slave of your own slavish mentality. You are an intellectual slave to ignore the glaring imperfections and distortions in the United States and Europe in the inept handling of the COVID crisis there. But you walk around with a magnifying glass, disseminating exaggerated images of the inevitable shortcomings of your own country. If India is in the wrong, tell us, Mrs. Noel, are you also not responsible for that? Are you not a citizen of this nation? Or does the Booker Prize confer on you any imperial rights to appropriate yourself the responsibility as a partaker of the fruits of democracy? If you're a partaker of the fruits of democracy, you should also be a participant in the democratic process. Simple logic, Mrs. Roy. A partaker should be a participant too. In this crisis, all responsible citizens should do and dare, and you just stand and stare. The self-assumed weathercock on the COVID field of a nation. Is there a single suggestion which you have given to save the lives of your brothers and sisters who are facing death during this pandemic? You are from Kerala, God's own country. Madam, God of small mind, have you turned a finger to save a single life in your own home state? If anybody calls you a culture vulture, don't try to put them down by invectives. We delight in your having won the Booker Prize, but Booker Prize does not give you the right to arrogate yourself and place yourself on the pedestal of intellectual glory. Look at Amartya Sen, Nobel laureate from India. He has been a carping critic of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but he was one of the first to compliment India's proactive steps in combating COVID. Human life is more important than intellectual glory, Mrs. Roy. You ask Bill Gates whether he wrote a letter of deep appreciation of the people of India and his Prime Minister for the bold and effective steps in containing the pandemic. You run down Brahminism, but you have the same trait of assumed superiority in you. Your intellectual orthodoxy cannot accept a tea vendor as a Prime Minister of this great nation. Racism or casteism, please relinquish your outcastism. You do not need India. You do not love India. But India needs you. India loves you because India believes in Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Don't you flaunt the greatness of the West in denigrating your motherland? The great Western scholar and historian, you know what Arnold Toynbee has said about the India, which you always denigrate? Arnold Toynbee said about India, India's spiritual legacy offers us the attitude and spirit that can make it possible for the human race to grow together in a single family, and in the atomic age, this is the only alternative to destroying ourselves. And what Romain Rolland has said, if there is one place on the face of earth where all the dreams of living men have found a home from the very earliest days when man began the dream of existence, it is India. Mark Twain said, India is a cradle of human race, the birthplace, the mother of history, grandmother of legend, and great-grandmother of tradition. This is India, Mrs. Roy, as perceived by the West and the US. Are they God of small minds, Mrs. Roy? Ask yourself, answer yourself, God bless you.